Hey friends, it's Ruben with Hi-Fi MIDI. This is Ample Guitar Rickenbacker, or AGRB, by Ample Sound. It's based on the Rickenbacker 330 vintage guitar made famous by the Beatles, The Who, and the Rolling Stones. This library uses samples from the bridge pickup. The download size is only 2.8 gigabytes. It works for Windows 7, 8, and 10, and Mac 10.9 or higher. It works as a VST2, VST3, AU, AAX, and standalone instrument, so you can use it on all major DAWs. The new features, which I'll be highlighting in this video, are the new mordant articulation, legato improvements, improvements to Riffer, improvements to key switching, and the new 65 Delight amp and cab. My first impression, as usual, is the graphic user interface. Ample Sound really nailed the beauty of this guitar. As I've stated in the past, everything is laid out logically. I think having a good graphic user interface is important for the user because, at least for me, it inspires creativity. It also improves workflow because you can clearly see where everything is. And in this case, aesthetics and functionality work together because you can click on any of the frets or strings and you'll get feedback. Now let's listen to the articulations. I'll play them without effects and then with effects. So here's sustain, which is C0, just like their other libraries. As usual, it follows the rules of guitar playing. And the virtual hand moves along with you. Here is natural harmonics. And Ample Sound resamples these so you can play them chromatically. Here's palm mute. Here is slide in and slide out. And then here's legato slide. The legato system has been greatly improved in this because now when you hold it down, it responds a lot better. When you let it go, it reverts back to sustain. The same goes for hammer on. And here is the new mordant articulation, which hammers onto the next note above and then goes back down. The articulation engine is based on the China series engine, which allows you to interrupt an active head group articulation with the body group articulation. You can see more about that in the Chinese instrument videos that I've posted in the past. For example, sustain, which is considered a head group articulation because it starts at the head or beginning of a note, can be interrupted by a body group articulation like the mordant. When you hold down the mordant key switch, it triggers that sound, but when you let go, it reverts back to sustain. Let's listen to the effects. Here's a scratch. Here's a slap. Silent press, this is going to mute the sounds of the strings. Then you have silent strokes here. Downstroke noise. That doesn't interrupt these sounds though, I wish it did. An upstroke noise. And then you have another set right here of downstroke and upstroke. And you have note repeat. pick scrape. Now let's listen to it with the new amplifier. Once again, this is called the 65 Delight, and it's based off the Fender 65 Deluxe. I'm going to turn this on. And this has two main control sections, the EQ, which is called the bright switch, and the drive section, which you can turn on here. This switch turns the amp off completely. Let's listen to the drive. So since it's based on a tube amp, the way tube amps work is that the more volume you drive into it, the more harmonic distortion you're going to hear. So you can go from a relatively clean sound to a very crunchy sound. Let's add some reverb to this. I'm going to go into the settings and change the modulation time. This uses a new SADS modulation system. So you can set the start, attack, hold, decay, and sustain. And then I can turn on my EQ here. Let's go through the articulations again, listening with this amplifier. Here's sustain. Palm mute. Slide in, slide out. Of course, slide out is polyphonic, as well as slide in. Legato. I love this new Morden articulation. You can technically do that with the hammer-on, but it doesn't sound as natural. Then I almost forgot to mention this, that you have the accentuate mode, which triggers either a pop or a pinch harmonic at the highest velocity. So here is pinch. And then here's pop. Then you have your mixer, panning, doubling. Capo. This is the same as their other plugins. Then you have your release effects and fret release sound gain. Your various modes of playing. So instrument mode, which follows the rules of a guitar. Keyboard mode, which lets you play like a keyboard. And then solo mode, which is basically monophonic. Another major update is Riffer. The problem with the old Riffer system is that if you programmed in what I call divergent harmonies, Riffer would play it back, but when you drag the MIDI into your DAW, it wouldn't play it back. It would create parallel harmonies. For example, if I program in a C and E harmony sliding to a D and F harmony, These are divergent harmonies because C and E creates a major third and D and F creates a minor third. So one of the notes is traveling a shorter distance than the other. In the old system, it would play back correctly. However, whenever you drag the MIDI into your DAW, it would play them as parallels. So one of those notes, I think the F would be played as an F sharp, and it would defeat the purpose of programming it in. I've been begging Ample Sound to fix this issue, and they finally fixed it. Now what you hear in Riffer is going to be played back here. That's a huge update because no other company that I've seen has been able to do this. It's always been a technical challenge. The other thing is that whenever you have a strum, in the past you couldn't control the volume of individual notes. Now you can select a note within that strum and change the volume or the velocity. Riffer has also been cleaned up, so whenever you drag MIDI into your DAW, you'll notice that Riffer has minimized the number of key switches, so that's also good. AGRB comes with a lot of great presets. I'm going to go through some of them. This is a million miles away. It just sounds really natural to me. So of course you don't have to stick to that one amplifier. You can mix in all these different ones. Now you have more choices, which is always a good thing. That's beautiful. There's some Radiohead for you. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a nice one as well. There's some Beatles for you. You really can get a lot of different tones and feels from this guitar. Even though it's a bridge pickup only, I'm sure in the future they're going to add some more. The guitar is stunning both visually and sonically. It responds nicely to keyboard playing, but really comes alive with easy programming in Riffer or the MIDI editor. Ample Sound has been adding all these tiny little improvements that, to be honest, is making these guitar libraries get closer and closer to perfection. And from a workflow standpoint, Ample Sound is always a go-to for creating quick and realistic tracks. And this new guitar features some great improvements that I look forward to seeing in their other guitar plugins. Well, friends, thanks for watching this review. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you're new to my channel and you want to see more videos. Leave a comment below telling me what you thought about this and consider sharing it. If you want to learn how to use Ample Sound guitars, I have a course on my website, hifimidi.com, where I explain every feature. It will be updated to include the new Riffer and modulation system. So thanks for watching.